Babin, Sustainability Professor at Sierra Nevada College. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about the program at SNC, the Sustainability Program.
Well, probably the first thing to mention is that sustainability really isn't a new thing at SNC. Since the college was founded, we've had a lot of students interested in alternative energy throughout the 70s and 80s. But more recently, it is one of our 4 core themes. So students are ostensibly taking classes that integrate sustainability across the curriculum. But for those students who are more interested, we do have a major in sustainability within the Interdisciplinary Studies program. And it's a major that really focuses on food, water, energy. Those are the big resources that we consider crucial for the future sustainability of our planet. So we focus in on those issues and we think about socially just innovations to kind of address food, water, energy needs.
Right, and I mean, from talking to other students who've gone through the program and being a student at SNC myself, I've heard it's very much project and solution based. Can you kind of speak to that?
Sure. So, we spend time in kind of the introductory classes learning to diagnose the problem, really looking at systems and understanding where the maybe leverage points are in those systems. But then it's time to design, experiment with interventions or innovations. So right now we're teaching a food-related class, food and agroecology. So that's my training. I'm an agroecologist. And we're looking at different model systems around the area and then taking it back to our lab, which in our case is the greenhouse on campus, and implementing some of the practices, best practices that we see. So we're assessing the system, but then coming up with projects that kind of address some of the needs in that system.
Neat. I've heard a lot of teachers at SNC kind of describe it as a training ground, right? And that goes back to how do we foster a more sustainable community? Can you speak to that a little bit?
Sure. So what I think of when I hear training ground is that it's a practical degree. It's a program for people who want to contribute in practical ways to some of the biggest issues facing humanity. So yeah, it's part conceptual and theoretical, understanding the systems, how they work, some of the drivers for change. But then it's really getting your hands dirty, learning sustainable practices within whatever system it is you choose to focus your attention.
Neat. Well, thanks so much for sharing with us. I know our viewers out there are definitely interested in this idea. If you want to learn more, you can go to sierranevada.edu, and you can also reach out to Nick. His email's on the website, right?
Yep, sure is. Thanks.
All right, yeah, thanks for being here. We're going to come back in a little bit, but until then, send it back to the South Shore. Thank you. We're here in our North Shore studio talking about how we can use education to foster a sustainable community. Here with me again is Nick Babin. Nick joined us yesterday and we talked a little bit about the sustainability program at Sierra Nevada College. And today we're going to talk specifically about the service learning class. Can you tell us a little bit about service learning?
Sure. So, well, first of all, being located here in Lake Tahoe, we're benefiting from over 30 years of environmental social work. This has been a place of emphasis. So we have a lot of organizations that are working at the cutting edge of a lot of these sustainability related issues, food, water, energy. And so service learning is just our chance to first get our students experience working with these cutting edge organizations, but then also give back to the community, provide a service. So the students spend a semester working with an organization of their choice. They work on day-to-day affairs with that organization, and then they devise a final project in order to contribute something additional and beyond for that organization.
Neat. Can you give us an example of what a project might look like that a student's able to contribute to the community?
Sure. So we've had several students work with the Tahoe Food Hub in the past, and working with them in their Sierra Agroecology Center, their demonstration gardens. We've also had students work with our own campus kind of facilities and designing and implementing a composting program for the campus. We've really had all sorts of different projects. Project Mana, also another organization that our students commonly service learn with.
Neat. So you spoke to us a little bit about all the program characteristics really, and how you're creating this training ground for students. So I would say that service learning is like giving them the opportunity to take those skills and go out and use them.
No, that's exactly right. So there's this, I like to think of it as in sustainability, this emphasis on either the hatchet or the seed. And it doesn't have to be both. So when you're thinking about the hatchet, you're thinking about deconstructing, diagnosing systems, critiquing them in a way. But you don't want to spend all your time there, and our program definitely spends at least an equal amount of time focusing on those seeds, those sustainability innovations. And so this gives the students a kind of real world practical experience practicing some of these innovations.
So we're running out of time. I wish we could talk more about this program, but there are some photos on the screen that I know our audience is really interested in. Share with them briefly what those are.
Sure. So this is a class visit in our food and agriculture class this semester. We visit the Tahoe Food Hub and their geodesic grow dome. And basically the idea there is to learn how high altitude gardening is done, so we can take that back to our own living learning laboratory, our greenhouse, and implement it.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much for sharing today. We're excited to learn so much about SNC and the sustainability program. We're here with Nick Babin, and we're going to send it back to the South Shore studio. Thank you. We're back here in our North Shore studio talking to Nick Babin a little bit more about how we can use education to foster a more sustainable community. We spoke specifically yesterday about service learning projects and giving students at Sierra Nevada College the opportunity to take what they learn in the sustainability program and apply it to real life. We've gone over so much, but what I really want to get at is, what's your message, right? Like, what would you choose to share with students and our audience about sustainability?
So my
Loaded
training,
question.
Yeah, one message, no pressure. My training, my PhD work is in agroecology, which is sustainable agriculture. And so I oftentimes get the question, can organic feed the world? And I really think that that's the wrong question, especially since we know that currently we produce enough food for everyone in the world. We currently produce enough food for 10 billion people on this planet. So it's not necessarily that we need to produce more food, we just need to distribute it more evenly. That's the big issue. And then I like to point out to people that some of the more recent meta-analyses, so looking at hundreds of different studies of yields in conventional versus organic, point out that organic is about 80% as yielding as conventional or industrial agriculture, which is actually surprisingly high, because if you think about it, industrial agriculture has received billions of dollars in subsidies and research funding over the last 50, 60 years, and organic agriculture has received hardly anything. So the fact that we are 80% of yields is actually quite astounding. Last thing I would point out to people is that if we want a sustainable world, you can shop your way into it to a point. We can support alternative markets in agriculture and organic agriculture to a point, but there comes a time when, to have kind of a complete system change, we need to be looking at the political and social changes. Changing policies around food and agriculture are key. We can't just consume our way into a new food system. We need to look at it from different angles and dimensions.
Definitely, and I think looking at it in different angles and dimensions is something you do at SNC. From what we've talked about in the class overviews, you guys are really offering a lot of lenses, right, at these different approaches to sustainability.
I would say that's exactly right. So you get the benefit of a liberal arts education, so how to think critically and widely. So taking classes in economics, politics, ethics, and then applying it within a framework for looking at food, water, and energy concerns.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing. Where can our viewers go to learn more about the sustainability program at Sierra Nevada College?
Sure. So go to www.sierranevada.edu, and then you can search for sustainability right there. That's it.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Nick. We're here with Nick Babin, of the sustainability professor at Sierra Nevada College. It's been awesome talking to you.
Thanks.
All right, we're going to send it back to the South Shore.